Hello, ladies and gents. As you can see, I'm wearing my new Exorcist t-shirt. It was on sale at Walmart for $14. I saw it and I thought about, of course, it's 1973 when the movie came out. And I thought, wow, I have a story to go with this movie. My name is Eric, and welcome to the craziness that lives inside my head. First of all, I want to say that when this movie came out in 1973, there was a lot of controversy about it, as far as I can understand. I didn't Google it to refresh my memory, but I do know, I think it was the Catholic Church that was against it. If I'm wrong, just let me know. But I think the Catholic Church at the time was against it. And you know how human beings are. When you are against something, they want to see it. And I heard when the movie opened up, people was scared. There was people throwing up in the movies, and it was a whole lot of stuff. Well, I said to my boyfriend at the time, I said, we got to see this movie. So we prepared ourselves like we always prepare ourselves when we go to see a movie. What we did was, any movie, we would get our reefer, get our wine, and you had to, well, at that time, you didn't have to sneak it in the movie. They let you have, this is 73 in the beginning. If you went to the right movie house, they let you bring your own, you don't have to put it in their face, but, at the time, I had a long black coat, and I had pockets inside. So on one side was my wine, on the other side, pockets inside the coat, was the reefer. And we sat right in the front row, like you gotta look like this in the front row, we gotta look up. We sat right in the front row, and it was packed. It was packed. So we sat in the front row, and we opened up our wine, we're drinking our wine, we smoke a little reefer. You had to sneak it, And then the movie started. And people were, I don't know, I guess they were like acting like they were very afraid of the movie. With me and my boyfriend, we laughed through the whole movie. Just laughed. We thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. Especially when she twirled her head around and threw up pea soup? I thought it was hilarious. I bust out laughing. We were there laughing and laughing and laughing, and people got mad at us. They kept saying, it's not a comedy, it's not a comedy, it's for real, it's not a comedy. And turned around and looked at this girl. I said, well, it may be for real for you. Well, anyway, we got kicked out of the movie house. The manager and somebody else came and said we had to leave because we were disrupting the audience. They were so afraid, doing, oh my God, and we were just busting out laughing. It was funny. To us, it was funny. So that brings you to my little experience I had on the subject. The same boyfriend that we were watching the movie. As time went on, he went and was dating this girl. Her name was Cassandra. He dated this girl named Cassandra. And he told me, she believes in, I don't know, it was voodoo, there was something else. But she believed in voodoo. She believed in all that stuff. I said, oh, okay, Then this one day, he had to stop by her house to see how she was doing. He invited me up to go with him. And I went in the house. Now, mind you, we were drinking all day. We were just drinking all day. And we were going to go somewhere that evening. So we got into the house. She cooked him dinner, of course. I wasn't invited, but she cooked him dinner, and of course, he gave me some of the food. He invited me to eat her food, which at the time I didn't think about it until after I ate the food. I thought about it because I was told through people who know other people that do that kind of voodoo stuff, you don't eat their food. So anyway, we ate the food, and he got up. He says, on his way to the bathroom, he says that he's going to, me and Eric, we're going out. She said no. She said, I cooked you dinner and I did this. You better stay home here with me. You're not supposed to be going out with your friends. And he said, no, I'm going out. And he went to the bathroom. And she turned to me, and this crazy look, she goes, I'm going to break you two up. I'm not going to have him with you, and you're not going to have him. I'm going to break you two up. You just wait and see. I mean, it was kind of scary the way she said it, I have to admit. Anyway, he came out the bathroom, and she blocked his way. We ready to go. She blocked his way. He said, no, you're not going. And she went off. I've seen this on TV and in the movie. When a woman go crazy, how they break dishes. She started breaking dishes. She tore, and then she started tearing down the curtains, and she went wild. And then he told me to wait for him outside. I'm waiting for him outside, because we called a cab. So I had to wait outside to make sure we don't miss the cab. And he beat her ass. He beat the hell out of her. I heard her. He beat the hell out of her. He came out, and we jumped in the cab. And we hung out that whole night, whatever. And it wasn't until the next day he called me up to say, we were lucky, because right after he beat her up, she called the police. But we were gone. We were gone by then. So anyway, I couldn't understand why he would be with such a woman. She wasn't. First of all, he had another girlfriend. In fact, at the time, he was engaged to get married to one of the girlfriends that he had, and she was going to she threatened to break him up. She wanted him all to herself. I just laughed when she threatened me. She's going to have him all to herself. So anyway, I asked him that question. I said, she believes in that stuff. He didn't believe in it. He didn't believe in all that stuff. And I told him, I said, she threatened to break us up. She was going to break us up. I told him that. And he said, oh, I ain't thinking about her. Okay, all right. Now, I've written this stuff in my book. And in my book, I wrote that, and it's true, that the girl I told you he was engaged to called me one day, and she wanted to know where he was. And I said, I don't know. And she said to me, I don't know how you don't know when he told me that you and him was going to go to Long Island on a camping trip. I burst out laughing. And then I stopped, because I realized that he told her a lie, and I'm, as the best friend, you know what I'm talking about. I'm supposed to go along with the lie, but she had to know it was a lie, because a fat black guy like me going on a camping trip, and even him, we're from the city, we're city boys, we're going on a camping trip, and she believed it, but obviously she didn't. And then obviously it was a lie, because I was home, and she kept calling me, and I wouldn't pick up the phone. In those days we didn't have cell phones, so she let it ring. It'll ring for a long time. One time she let it ring 20 times. I didn't want to pick up, and she let it ring 20 times. And then maybe 10 minutes later, she'll ring again another 20 times. So after the third time, I picked it up on the 20th ring. And I was upset. What do you want? What do you want? She goes, I want you to tell me where he's at. So I told her where he was at. He was at Cassandra's house, and I gave her the address and the apartment number. Well, anyway, I got a call maybe a couple of hours later. It was my ex-boyfriend. Well, it wasn't my boyfriend anymore. He called me up to say that he put a contract on my life, because I had no business telling his fiance, that he was, about him fooling around with Cassandra. So anyway, in the book, I told you the whole story. I escaped to. I got scared because he was the type of person that would do something like that, and I immediately. It took me a week. I gave all my albums away to my sister. I went to another sister house and gave her the furniture, and I took off for the West Coast. All right, let's fast forward. So now when we fast forward, now it's was it 1993? That happened in 78, 79, when I took off. When I told his fiancée about his extracurriculum. So now it's 1993. What is that? 78, 88, 10, 15 years later. I worked on Wall Street, and that's when they did the first bombing of the World Trade Center. So I was there. I only worked a block away from the World Trade Center when they did the bombing, and all I know, that was payday, and I was in the drugstore cashing my check. I didn't have a bank account, so you had the check cashing place. The drugstore had a check cashing. I think it was $2 or $3 to cash my check, and that's when the lights went out, the floor, the building shook, and then lights came back on. And then when I went back to work, we was under lockdown, and then they shut down all the subway system from Wall Street area. I had to walk up to the village in order to get a train to go home. I get home, my phone is ringing. Now this is 15 years later. It was my ex-boyfriend now. The same boyfriend that I said that he was going to have me killed. Now it was him, 15 years later. And he said that he was very concerned, because I asked him how he got my phone number. He never told me who gave him my phone number. He just said to me that he's been watching me. He's been keeping up with my career. Because at this time I was written up in the New York Daily News for something. I started this poetry business. Then I did two. At this time I had my second play. I was written up in the New York Times for a review. So I'm quite sure we had mutual friends that gave him my phone number. So anyway, this is 1993. And then I asked him about Cassandra. Remember this? I asked him about Cassandra, because she was into all this. I asked him about Cassandra. And he said, yeah, she's all right. He said, I guess all right. He haven't seen her. I said, what do you mean? I said, well, I guess you finally broke up, which I thought was funny, because she wanted him, boy. So he said to me that he married her. Remember I told you she wanted him all to herself? He said she bugged him so much that he married her. And then right after he married her, he divorced her. They was only married for one day. And I couldn't believe that. I really couldn't believe that. So, she believed in all that stuff. And then we broke up. Right after she said she's going to break us up, we broke up. And she wanted him, and she got him, and he divorced her. Well, that's my little story. This is the same ex-boyfriend that who passed away. I haven't talked to him since the last time I actually talked to him was 1993. The last time I even saw him was 1979. And then I didn't find out until about 2016, because I had another friend. I asked him about, I wonder what happened to so-and-so, so-and-so. So he had a way to find out. He was into, when you investigating people, which is very easy. All you have to do, if you want to pay that kind of money. And that's what he does for a living. And that's when he came back with the, it was online. It was put in, he died in 2000. And he showed me his obituary. So That's the story. I don't know. You might say, what kind of story is that? But I don't. Hey, she believed in this. She got it. She said she's gonna break us up. She broke us up. She said she's gonna have him to himself. I guess she did have him to himself for one day. My name is Eric, and thank you for listening to the craziness that lives inside my head.